that the way that you see the world will impact the way that you live. So if I'm a believer, a person who prays to God, and I see that the devil controls everything, the devil has all power, God has no power, that's blasphemy, actually. To say the devil has more power than God, that's actually blasphemy. But I'll put that aside. People who see everything as dark, it eventually becomes the room that they're sitting in. People that see everything that God is working in every aspect of the world, that God's working in our political system. Now, the politicians may not be godly, but God is there. God's working in the church. A lot of churches may be disorganized, but God's still there. God is working in my life. My life may not be perfect, but God is there. The more you see God, and the more you experience God, and the more the light of God shines upon you, it actually transforms your life. And you're no longer in a room of darkness, but you're living in a world of light. And it's a world that God has created in partnership with you. We have to partner with either God or something that's not God. We have to partner with either with light or something that's darkness. So when I look at my life, I have to ask myself, am I pleased with my life? If there's parts of my life that I'm not pleased with, that's where I need to invite God into those parts of my life to bring light. Because what Jesus is saying here very, very clearly is that if you think with a dark mind, you can't trust anybody. Everybody's a liar. Nobody is dependable. People just keep taking. People never give. Everybody turns on me. Nobody helps me. When you think with that kind of mindset, it will eventually create a prison of darkness where you have a perception that the world is evil and full of darkness, when really it's not evil and full of darkness. It's a world that has been self-created. I'll even go this far. The world is not full of light and full of joy, but you can create that world with God. Jesus went everywhere, and the glory of God was always with him. In a world that was so dark, full of evil, full of Satan, everywhere Jesus went, it was light. It was amazing. It was like a celebration everywhere Jesus went, because Jesus understood a principle that we in the church need to understand, that what you focus on and what you invite into your life, the God that you allow to speak to you and to dictate to you and to tell you how life is, that is the life you're going to live. So if I live in a world where everything is dark, everything is evil, everything is satanic, I'm not talking to the God of the Bible. Because this God said, let there be, and there was. This God said that all power is given unto me. This God says that the devil is under my feet. So when I have perceptions that are in opposition to what God is feeling and what God is saying, I'm like Eve, I'm listening to another spirit. And sometimes you got to shut down the other voices and say, I don't want to be in a dark room anymore. If I'm going to pray, I can't pray in disbelief. If I'm going to pray, I can't pray always being in crisis, always being in darkness. I need to start praying from a position of empowerment, where the Spirit of God empowers me and causes me to understand who I am in God. Where I can be like Paul and say, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Sometimes we look at that scripture and we don't see it in the proper context, because Paul's not just saying that God can do amazing things in my life. Paul is saying that whether things are going good, whether things are going great, whether things are going horrible, I can do all things through Christ, because Christ is with me no matter what I'm going through. So in a darkened world, you can live in light if you allow the light of God to shine in you.
Have you ever asked yourself the question, what is worship? Or, what does true worship mean? Well, now you can find the answer in this easy to read and engaging book titled 5 Benefits of Worship: Experiencing the Power of God Through Focused Praise and Worship. In this book, The author defines what it means to worship God and points you to what true worship looks like. Moreover, authentic Christian worship happens when you focus on God and give Him all the praise. It is through this life transforming encounter with the greatness of God that people's lives are changed forever. I would admonish every Christian wanting to draw closer to God through worship to read and practice the principles of this book. Whether you are a passionate worshiper, a new believer, a pastor, or someone simply seeking to grow in your personal relationship with God, this book is packed with a philosophy that can shoot your life to the next level. It will help you to have an encounter of the revelation and transformation received at the spiritual altar of focused worship.